Listen, are you sick and tired of posting on social media without getting any results, any clients, or having anything to show for it? Especially right now, there are probably so many people that are telling you that you should be posting on social media, you should be creating video content. And the thing is, you can post all day long if you want, but the thing is, if you don't have a solid strategy behind what you're posting, then you're always going to struggle to get the business results that you want, especially if you want to get clients from your social media. So I decided that in this video, I wanted to go over how I develop social media strategy for my clients, and I also wanted to give you a resource that you can use while you're watching this video. So while you're going through it, you can also fill out this document. You can find that in the link in description. It'll just be a simple Google Doc that you can fill out so that instead of just watching another YouTube video about social media strategy or how to get clients on social media, you can actually start to build out your own plan and start to implement it tomorrow instead of waiting months and months to do it. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. The first thing that we need to do is we need to define who our target audience is and what problem they have that we can solve. One of my biggest takeaways from Alex Hormozi's book, $100 million offers, is that your market is more important than your offer, and your offer is more important than your persuasion skills. In other words, you can have the absolute best offer of all time, and you can be an incredible salesperson and be super persuasive, but it's all going to come crashing down if you don't have a really good market to start with. So here are the 4 criteria to picking a good market according to Alex Hormozi. I think this applies really well to social media, and if you haven't noticed by now, I'm kind of just an Alex Hormozi copycat, but I think that these 4 things are really going to help you define who you're actually talking to on social media. So first off, the market that you serve needs to be in pain, or in other words, how badly do they need your help? The second one is that your market needs to have money. So if they don't actually have the funds or the money to pay for your service, then it's probably not a good market to go after. The third one is that they need to be easy to target. So in other words, can you easily find them online? And in this case, since we're building a social media strategy, how easily can you find them on social media? And the fourth one is that your market should be growing. So you don't want to be selling to a market that's kind of fizzling out or dying. And if you can, you want to focus on the markets that are kind of growing right now. So think about AI. Everybody's talking about AI. It's probably a good market to target. So open up that document that I have in the description and take some time to just brainstorm some markets that you could potentially work with. Don't hold back for now. And then after you've gotten a list, run them through those 4 criteria that I just listed and start crossing ones out that just aren't going to work. Also, here's a few additional questions that you can ask yourself to help in this brainstorming process. What types of clients do you currently work with? Who would you be super excited to help? And what type of person needs your service the most? Now, before we move on, I need to say this because a lot of the times when I get started working with a new client, the number one thing that they say to me is, wait, I don't just serve one type of client. So I don't want to limit myself. I don't want to only work with one type of person. But the thing is, social media is a very crowded space. There's already a lot of established people in your industry and in your niche. So it's much better to focus on one specific audience or one specific market and helping them with one specific thing so that eventually you can build up some expertise in that space. And then once you've built up that expertise, then you can start to think about expanding further. All right, next we need to set specific goals. And I know that this probably just sounds like boring business talk, but setting goals is one of the most important parts of a good social media strategy. And if you just skip over this and you decide that you're just going to start posting, then you are going to be doomed from the start. Now, the reason that this is so important is because numbers and measurements don't lie. They give a good picture of what's actually going on so that you can make adjustments later on. So as an example, imagine if your car didn't have a gauge to tell you how much gas was left in your car. You would constantly be guessing at when you need to fill up your gas, and you probably always be breaking down on the side of the road. Treat your social media the same. Without those specific numbers that you've defined that are important for your business, you will always be guessing to whether you're successful or not. So go back to the Google document and get real with yourself. What do you actually want to achieve by using social media for your business? Do you want followers, leads, subscribers, sales, booked calls? How many? And also, what would you consider a reasonable amount of success 12 weeks from now? Now, the next thing to do after you've established your goals is to pick which social media platforms you'll focus 99% of your effort on. And my biggest piece of advice with this is that, especially if you're just starting out, pick just one social media platform. Once you start to see success with that one social media platform, you can start to think about developing strategies and diversifying out to the other ones. Way too often, I'll be talking to business owners who want to start driving results from their Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. And my question is that if we haven't had success on any one platform yet, why would we spread our energy thin and try to get success on all of them at once? It just doesn't make any sense. So unless you have a massive social media budget and you're trying to build out a team for each individual platform, then my suggestion is to pick just one. Now, remember in the beginning when I said that your market should be easy to target? When you're picking a social media platform, it's important that you pick the one where your specific target audience is the most active, engaged, and also the easiest to find. Now, lucky for you, it's kind of hard to go wrong here, but just as a random example, I probably wouldn't focus focus on TikTok if my business helps people set up retirement plans? So my suggestion would be to go out there and spend time on all the different social media platforms and try to find your target audience. How easy was it to find them, or how difficult was it to find them? Now, if I'm being honest, most of my clients focus on Instagram because I found that it's pretty rare that we can't find someone's target audience on Instagram, and it's also, in my opinion, one of the most business-friendly platforms. All right, so after you've done some research, go ahead and jot down your core platform on the strategy document, and let's keep going. All right, the next part is posting good content. I'm sure you saw this coming, but a solid social media strategy includes posting social media content that's informative, engaging, and relevant to your target audience. Now, I can't go into full detail on creating a content strategy in this video, so comment down below if you want to see a video on that. But just keep in mind when creating content that you want to play by your core platform's rules, and you also want to pay attention to what's working in your market. So what do I mean by playing by your core platform's rules? Well, each core platform is slightly different, and you want to at least be aware of the different nuances of all the different social media platforms. It's also important to find competitors in your niche so that you can use them as inspiration to see what does work and what doesn't work from a content perspective. Now, what's interesting about social media right now is that short form video content works on most of the social media platforms. Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts, you name it. But you still want to be aware of what makes your core platform different from the other platforms. So take some time now to find some competitors in your niche and just jot down what works for them and what doesn't work, what generates them the most leads, etc. Now, since we're on the topic of content, I also wanted to say that you probably shouldn't make your entire content strategy on the basis of going viral. Keep in mind the goal that you set at the beginning and make sure that every single piece of content takes you a step closer to achieving that goal. All right, next is relationship building. Now, it doesn't matter which social media platform you chose. If you want to use social media to get new clients, then it's important to spend time every single day to build relationships with others on that platform. This is done by engaging with your followers, by commenting, DMing them, and starting conversations to actually build relationships to turn those followers into clients. A huge mistake that I made for myself and also my clients in the beginning was that we spent way too little time actually developing relationships with our followers. The strategy that I used in the beginning was to just post good stuff and then hope that people would see those posts and get so much value from it that they would eventually become a client someday. But the truth is that people do business with people, and they don't do business with content robots who just spend all of their time all day creating content for social media. So take time to talk to people in your market, start conversations, build relationships, and actually network with people on social media. Okay, next, and this is so important because most people skip over this, but we need to have systems in place to turn those relationships into new clients. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this, and I could probably make a separate video on every single one of them, but for now, I'll just name two. The first way is having a conversation to calls strategy. In other words, if you're spending a lot of time networking with other people and building relationships with people in your niche, then it's an important skill to know how to turn those conversations into calls. For example, you can ask questions to learn more about that person's problems and also their goals, so that if you believe that you can help them, you can eventually pitch a call to them. The second way is having a free lead magnet that you can give to people. This is usually a free guide, PDF, checklist, mini course, etc. And the goal with this is to give away something incredibly valuable, something that you could probably charge some money for, but give it away for free in exchange for someone's contact information, such as an email or a phone number. From there, you can take their email and add it to your list, where you can market to them further through your email marketing, which is again a topic for another day. Now, I believe that the best social media strategy uses a combination of both of these, a conversation to call strategy and a free lead magnet. But don't get too overwhelmed in the beginning. If it were me, I would probably start with just learning how to turn conversations into calls and then later add a lead magnet down the line. All right, next is fueling the fire with paid ads. Now, before you say, no, I don't want to put any money behind this, I want to do this completely organic, just hear me out. It is a fact that as business owners, it will get harder and harder to reach your target audience on social media organically. Why? Because every single social media platform wants you to spend money. So now that they have users, they have all the leverage, and they can make it as hard as they want to reach people organically on their social media platform. Now, I don't want this to discourage you from posting social media content, because every single social media platform will reward good content. But it is my opinion that relying on organic reach for your social media strategy is a dangerous game to play. So I have yet to do this for myself, but one strategy that I know works really well for other people is that they will post organic content for a few months, and then they'll wait and see which of their posts performs the best, and they will run some kind of ads to it. So rather than just posting and hoping that the social media platforms give you traffic for free, instead you can put money behind it and basically guarantee that you're going to get some new traffic. For example, on Instagram, you can boost your social media posts to a specific audience by using different interests. So let's say, for example, that one of my Instagram posts is performing really well organically. I can then put a few $100 behind it for Instagram to go show that post to more people who might like it. So if you're just getting started, I would focus mostly on organic content and just getting better better at creating content in general, but then down the line, you can start to think about putting some money behind it to essentially pay for attention. All right, now the last part of this is measurement and adjustments. So like I mentioned before, trying to succeed on social media without measuring and adjusting is just a disaster waiting to happen. So I would recommend at least once a month, pull your numbers and see if you're making progress towards your goal. So for example, if your goal is to generate leads on Instagram, how many leads did you generate this month? How much traffic did you generate to your landing page? How many conversations did you start? These are all really good metrics to know, because when you pay attention to your numbers, it's so much easier to figure out what's going wrong and how you can make adjustments for the next month, or at least test some new stuff out. All right, now the final part of this that I have to mention is that you can have the best social media strategy in the world, and if you are not consistent with it and you give up after a month, you will always fail. You can really only succeed on social media if you commit to it for at least a year, and if you really commit to making it an iterative process along the way. All right, I hope this was helpful. If you did find it helpful, follow me on Instagram at the Josh Steinberg for more interesting stuff. Shoot me a DM on Instagram if you want to talk, and I'll see you in the next one.